David continues to defeat the enemies of Israel in all directions. His wealth and fame continue to grow. David has many wives and concubines, but temptation still gets the better of him. Late one afternoon, after his midday rest, David got out of bed and was walking on the roof of the palace. As he looked out over the city, he noticed a woman of unusual beauty taking a bath. He sent someone to find out who she was, and he was told she is Bathsheba, the wife of Uriah the Hittite. Then David sent messengers to get her, and when she came to the palace, she slept with her. Then she returned home. Later, when Bathsheba discovered that she was pregnant, she sent David a message saying, "I am pregnant." David wanted to cover up what he has done, so he called for Bathsheba's husband to be brought home from battle. But Uriah refused to go and sleep with his wife, while his fellow soldiers were still at war. David even tried to get Uriah drunk, but still he would not go home to his wife. So the next morning, David wrote a letter to Joab, the leader of the army, and gave it to Uriah to deliver. The letter instructed Joab, "Station Uriah on the front lines where the battle is fierce. Then pull back so that he will be killed." Then Joab sent a battle report to David telling him that Uriah had been killed in battle. When Uriah's wife heard that her husband was dead, she mourned for him. When the period of mourning was over, David sent for her and brought her to the palace, and she became one of his wives. Then she gave birth to a son. But the Lord was displeased with what David had done. So the Lord sent Nathan, the prophet, to tell David this story. There were two men in a certain town. One was rich and other was poor. The rich man owned a great many sheep and cattle. The poor man owned nothing but one little lamb he had bought. He raised that little lamb, and it grew up with his children. He ate from the man's own plate and drank from his cup. He cuddled it in his arm like a baby daughter. One day, a guest arrived at the home of the rich man, but instead of killing an animal from his own flock or herd, he took the poor man's lamb and killed it and prepared it for his guest. David was furious. "As surely as the Lord lives," he vowed, "any man who will do such a thing deserves to die. He must repay 4 lambs to the poor man for the one he stole and for having no pity." Then Nathan said to David, "You are that man." Then David confessed to Nathan, "I have sinned against the Lord." Nathan replied, "Yes, but the Lord has forgiven you, and you won't die for this sin. Nevertheless, you have shown utter contempt for the word of the Lord. By doing this, your child will die."